By recreating environments found beneath the ocean's surface, aquariums can be invaluable for education and research. There are tens of thousands of marine species that most of us would never normally be able to see in real life, and the ability to do so can inspire and encourage new generations to care for the planet's oceans, and to take care and preserve these animals for generations to come. Of course, keeping large aquatic creatures in fair conditions requires huge tanks to be built, and you won't believe how big some actually are. It's time to see the underwater world like never before, as we take a look at 15 of the largest aquariums in the world. Number 15. National Museum of Marine Biology and Aquarium, Taiwan. First opened in February of 2000, the National Museum of Marine Biology and Aquarium functions as both a museum and an educational facility in the Taiwanese township of Chengcheng, which is in the southern part of the country. It was the culmination of more than 10 years of planning, and along with 88 acres of buildings, there's a further 150 acres of outdoor space that included the largest water park in Taiwan. Inside the aquarium, there are 3 main exhibition spaces. The largest is called the Waters of Taiwan and focuses on the animals found in the marine environments around the country, from ponds and rivers to the coastal systems. In there, you'll see Japanese eel, cuttlefish, nurse sharks, spotted eagle rays, and even a whale shark within the main ocean tank containing around 1.5 million gallons of seawater. To offer incredible views, it has an acrylic viewing window that measures 54 feet by 15 feet. There's also a 260-foot-long shark tunnel that completely immerses you among the wildlife. The second main exhibition is called the Coral Kingdom and features a number of different tanks that display a variety of different types of coral. But the main attraction here is found at the end of the hall, where there's another huge tank that's home to 4 beluga whales, along with other animals like black-tip sharks, unicorn fish, butterfly fish, and several species of eel. The Waters of the World exhibit shows how ancient oceans developed and formed. There are further tanks around the site that are dedicated to specific animals, such as the penguin tank and the serene kelp forest tank. Also involved at the forefront of oceanic research in Taiwan, the more than 1.2 million visitors each year help to raise funds to protect delicate ecosystems around the country, and the facility has already been credited with saving the habitats of a number of species. Number 14. Turkuaz Zoo, Istanbul, Turkey. Located in the Bayrampaşa district of Istanbul in Turkey, Turkuaz Zoo, which is known as the Sea Life Istanbul, opened in 2009. It became the first public aquarium in Turkey and at the same time became one of the largest in Europe by covering a land area of 590,000 square feet, featuring a number of huge tanks, the largest of which holds around 1.3 million gallons of water. There are 11 different themed areas, including Turtle World, Shark Encounter, Jellyfish Discovery, and The Shoal. In total, the venue says there are more than 10,000 animals from hundreds of different species, with the most popular ones being the sand tiger and hammerhead sharks, as well as being a place that offers locals and visitors the chance to see these creatures up close. Turkuaz Zoo also has a well-funded research and conservation department that's committed to help clean beaches around Turkey, as well as to breed, rescue, and repopulate the native marine animals that have suffered as a result of human actions. Since opening, the aquarium has become a major tourist attraction in Istanbul, so much so that plans are currently underway to construct another huge tank that the owners of the venue hope will make it by far the largest of its kind in Europe. Number 13. Lisbon Oceanarium, Portugal. Found within the Parque das Nações, which was where Expo 98 was held, the Lisbon Oceanarium first opened in 1998 and was designed by Peter Chermayeff, who has become renowned for being behind a number of the most impressive aquariums on the planet. From the outside, the building looks like an aircraft carrier, and it's perched on a pier that reaches out into an artificial lagoon. But it's inside that things get seriously impressive. There's an incredible variety of different animals, with more than 16,000 creatures from around 450 species. You'll be able to see penguins, seagulls, a range of other birds, as well as mammals like otters, sharks, rays, chimeras, and seahorses, and a huge selection of fish, mollusks, amphibians, jellyfish, and plants. One of the most beautiful specimens is an ocean sunfish, which is one of the largest species of bony fish on the planet. Very few aquariums have the conditions required to house them because of their demanding requirements, but the Oceanarium in Lisbon has managed to do so successfully. The reason for this is the size of its main tank, which hosts 1.3 million gallons of seawater. It's also been built with 4 huge acrylic viewing windows that are 530 square feet each, and along with several smaller windows give a spectacular view of the tank. and this gives plenty of space for the surface swimmers and seafloor foragers to live in their preferred environments, just like they would in the open ocean. Number 12. Okinawa Churaumi Aquarium, Okinawa, Japan. First opened in late 2002, the Okinawa Churaumi Aquarium was, for 3 years, the largest aquarium in the world. With a name that means graceful ocean, it's a place that's long been associated with aquatic life thanks to an aquarium that was built in the city during Expo 75. And this new facility was designed to substantially increase the number of visitors that were able to pass through each year. It's made up of 4 floors and has 77 tanks with a total water volume of 2.6 million gallons of water, with all the salt water being pumped in from the nearby ocean. Of all the tanks, by far the most impressive is the Kuroshio-C, which itself measures 115 feet long, 89 feet wide, and 33 feet deep, featuring an acrylic glass panel that's almost 2,000 square feet. And the tank holds nearly 2 million gallons of water and hosts species such as whale sharks, manta rays, and plenty more. It's one of the only places in the world where whale sharks have successfully been kept in captivity, and although this is highly controversial, it's argued that those that are there were rescued after accidentally being caught by fishermen and wouldn't have been able to survive for long if they were ever to be released back into the wild. Number 11. Osaka Aquarium, Kaiyukan, Osaka, Japan. When it opened in May of 1990, the Osaka Aquarium Kaiyukan became the largest aquarium in the world. While it since has lost that title, further expansions to the venue have meant that it's retained its place as the largest one in Japan and is also a hugely important research center that focuses its efforts on rays and sharks. Set across 8 floors, there are 27 tanks that are split between 16 main exhibits. In total, the tanks contain 2.9 million gallons of water, and the largest of them, the Pacific Ocean tank, holds 1.4 million gallons and contains animals such as bluefin tuna, reef manta rays, hammerhead sharks, and whale sharks. Across the whole aquarium, there are more than 29,000 creatures from at least 420 different species, with exhibits that feature specimens from virtually every marine environment around the world. The research department has successfully bred 47 species of sharks, 37 types of rays, and even a chimera, with many of these being released back into the wild to help boost natural populations. With more than 2.5 million visitors per year, it's one of the most popular aquariums in Asia, and plans are already underway to further develop the site to host an even wider range of exhibits. Number 10. The Dubai Mall, Dubai. The Dubai Mall was a huge undertaking that saw a number of delays, but when it was first able to welcome customers through its doors in 2008, it became the largest mall in terms of floor space in the world, a title it would hold for a decade. As with many other similar sites that are designed to encourage foot traffic, it's not just stores that you'll find there. There are plenty of entertainment venues too, with one of the most stunning being the Dubai Aquarium and Underwater Zoo. Inspired by the underwater paradise, the aquarium rises 3 floors, and the main tank measures 167 feet long, 66 feet wide, and 36 feet tall, making it one of the biggest suspended tanks on the planet, holding a total of 2.1 million gallons of water. It contains more than 33,000 animals, which includes sand tiger sharks, rays, and more than 140 other species. The aquarium offers experience such as diving with the sharks, riding a glass-bottomed boat over the tank's surface, and a snorkeling cage. And there are several other exhibits too, where you can come face-to-face through a perspex screen with a 16-foot-long crocodile. Number 9. Nausicaa Centre National de la Mer, Boulogne, France. The first idea for creating Nausicaa Centre National de la Mer, which is in France, came in the early 1980s when the local mayor was looking for ways to redevelop a casino. After political lobbying, the French government and European Union provided the majority of the funding needed, and it originally opened in 1991. Several expansions have taken place since then, and it's now the second largest aquarium in all of Europe. It covers an area of 160,000 square feet, and it's split across 8 main exhibits, including the Shark Aquarium, the Tropical Lagoon, the Sea Lion Reserve, and the Submerged Forest. It's the newest addition, though, which is the most impressive, as the High Sea Tank contains 2.5 million gallons of water. It's large enough to hold animals such as manta rays, scalloped hammerheads, and ocean sunfish. Featuring a huge viewing tunnel and a number of viewing panels, it's an incredible feat of engineering and has allowed the aquarium to bring guests closer to certain creatures than had ever been possible before. In total, the center has 60,000 animals from more than 1,600 different species. This not only gives guests a fascinating view of the underwater world, but it's also enabled research institutes to learn far more about the behaviors and needs of them all. Number 8. Shed Aquarium, Chicago, United States. The Shed Aquarium, which is in Chicago, originally opened to the public in 1930, when at the time it featured 132 different exhibition tanks. It's gone on to expand since then, and now across all of the exhibits it's got around 5 million gallons of water, and it's one of the most popular destinations in Chicago with more than 2 million visitors each year. There are 5 permanent exhibits: Waters of the World, which is one of the oldest displays of animals like bullfrogs, octopus, alligators, and seahorses; the Caribbean Reef, with a huge circular tank with animals such as green sea turtles, rays, eels, and parrotfish; Amazon Rising, which is a recreation of one of the most biodiverse regions on the planet. It's got animals include stingray, anaconda, tortoises, and piranhas; the Wild Reef, that has a replica of the Philippine coral reef, as well as a large shark tank; and the Polar Play Zone with penguins, dolphins, and otters. There's also a large oceanarium that, with a 2 million gallon tank, is the largest indoor marine mammal facility in the world. It's got a number of temporary exhibits too that alternate year to year. In all, the aquarium has at least 32,000 animals from 1,500 different species, and it's one of the best places in the United States to learn about the marine environment. Number 7. Aqua Planet Jeju, South Korea. Holding the record for being the largest public aquarium in South Korea, Aqua Planet Jeju, which is in the Jeju province, first opened in 2012. With a floor space of about 270,000 square feet, it's split into 3 sections: the Ocean Arena, Marine Science, and the Aquarium. Each of the sections have various tanks within them, but the most impressive is the Sea of Jeju tank, which is the largest single tank in the country. Holding more than 1.4 million gallons of water, it's where the larger sharks, rays, and guitar fish are not only kept, but also bred. There's a tunnel that runs through the tank that gives visitors an up-close and personal view of all the creatures. And in the whole aquarium, there's an estimated 48,000 animals from 500 different species. Other popular exhibits include the tanks with penguins, sea lions, walruses, giant groupers, and one that displays one of the largest freshwater fish in the world, the pirarucu. And there are various shows that you can see too, like a trained dolphin performance and the exhibition of hunting skills by walruses. Since opening, Aqua Planet Jeju has been criticized for its focus on displaying large marine animals without necessarily providing the perfect environment for them. And while the management originally tried to distance themselves from that controversy, mounting public pressure forced them to release a whale shark from one of the tanks, and be far more careful with how ambitious they are with any further animals being added to exhibits. Number 6. The Seas with Nemo and Friends, Epcot, United States. The Seas with Nemo and Friends is a pavilion at Epcot in Florida and is themed as being a base for oceanic exploration called Sea Base Alpha. It was planned to be part of the park from its early conception, but would open 4 years after Epcot in 1986 as the Living Seas. Following the popularity of Finding Nemo, it was re-themed in 2006, and after various expansions is now the second largest aquarium in the United States. It'd be easy to overlook this fact though, because most people who visit will remember the dark ride attraction, the Talk with Crush attraction, and the attached restaurant. The main tank itself is huge, holding 5.7 million gallons of water, and it has at any time around 8,500 different creatures in it. You'll see part of it from the dark ride or through a perspex wall in the restaurant. But when you enter the Sea Base attraction, you get a much better idea of just how large it is. Here, there are also several further tanks where you'll be able to see animals like manatees, dolphins, triggerfish, rays, turtles, and sharks. One thing most guests don't realize is that there's a way to get even closer, as if you have a scuba qualification, it's actually possible to take part in Epcot Dive Quest, which is a 40-minute tour around the main tank. Number 5. Moscow Oceanarium, Moscow, Russia. In northern Moscow, there's a huge development called the Exhibition of Achievements of National Economy, which is a trade show and amusement park with a number of attractions, including the newly built Sun of Moscow, which is a 460-foot-tall Ferris wheel. There's also a Luna Park, a cosmonautics museum, several exhibition pavilions, but arguably the most impressive thing there is the Center of Oceanography and Marine Biology that's called the Moskvarium, or the Moscow Oceanarium. The sheer number of tanks in the venue is almost unbelievable. There are 80 saltwater and freshwater ones that range in size from that of a small birdhouse to larger than a 2-story house. But that's just the beginning. Behind the scenes, there are many more that are used for study and adds a further 463 to the tally. There are tens of thousands of animals on display that represent more than 500 different species. And while the largest tank, which holds 977,000 gallons of water, may not be one of the largest in the world, the aquarium's total capacity across all tanks exceeds 6.6 million gallons, which is far more than just a handful of others on the planet. It's such a large and varied place that visitors can struggle to see everything there is to explore in one day. But with orcas, dolphins, sharks, whales, and many more, there's something there for everyone. Number 4. L'Oceanographique, Valencia, Spain. Holding the title of being the largest aquarium in Europe, L'Oceanographique, which is in Valencia, Spain, is part of a wider cultural complex. It first opened in February of 2003. The exterior was designed by renowned architect Felix Candela and incorporates his signature hyperbolic parabola-shaped roof that's made from a thin shell of steel fiber reinforced concrete. Spread over an area of 1.2 million square feet, it's split into 10 different zones, such as the Mediterranean habitats, the Arctic oceans, the temperate seas, and the tropics. There's also a dolphinarium and a section dedicated to mangrove swamps and marshlands, with at least 80 different plant species throughout. The main draw, though, here are the enormous tanks, which in total contain 11 million gallons of water. The salt water that's used is pumped directly in from the nearby beach, and there are 9 main two-tiered tower tanks that represent each of the Earth's major ecosystems. The largest of all the tanks contains 1.8 million gallons of water, and this enables the aquarium to host a wide range of different creatures. For example, there are sharks, rays, penguins, beluga whales, and many more, with an estimated 45,000 individual animals from 500 different species. It's not just aquatic life here, though, as there are also large displays dedicated to birds, reptiles, and invertebrates, all of which make this one of the largest collections of life you'll find anywhere. Number 3. Georgia Aquarium, Atlanta, United States. When it opened in 2005, the Georgia Aquarium in Atlanta became the largest of its kind in the world, a record it would hold for 7 years. Its construction was possible thanks to a $250 million donation from Bernie Marcus, who was the co-founder of Home Depot, and felt that a facility like this would be invaluable for the city as an educational hub and a driver for economic growth. It's located in downtown Atlanta and covers an area of about 13 acres that was donated by the Coca-Cola Company, and the building was designed around its largest tank, a 6.3 million gallon whale shark exhibit, which became the first place outside of Asia where these majestic creatures could be seen in an aquarium, and remains one of the largest indoor aquatic habitats ever built. It's also one of the only 4 aquariums on Earth where you can see a manta ray, and there's a tank that's home to a beluga whale that again are rare in captivity. The aquarium is split into 8 distinct galleries and exhibits: Tropical Diver, Ocean Voyager, Cold Water Quest, River Scout, Dolphin Coast, Pier 225, Aquanaut Adventure, and a Shark Encounter. Animals you can expect to find there include California sea lions, spider crabs, weedy sea dragons, puffins, penguins, and at least 6 different types of sharks. And in total, there are approximately 100,000 animals from 500 different species. It's such a large venue that designers had to incorporate a freezer that can hold as much as 20,000 pounds of food at any one time. And with the combined size of all the tanks, the aquarium has around 11 million gallons of water in its exhibits. Despite being one of the more expensive attractions to visit, it's perhaps no surprise, with everything it has to offer, that Georgia Aquarium receives on average 2.5 million guests per year, which raises the much-needed funds to carry out research and conservation work, and it's been credited with uplifting the local economy. Number 2. S.E.A. Aquarium, Singapore. The Marine Life Park opened as part of a huge development on the island of Sentosa in Singapore in 2012. Amongst casinos and theme parks, this was the part that focused on the underwater world, and it was made up of Adventure Cove Water Park and the world's second-largest aquarium, the Southeast Asia Aquarium. When it was finished, it was the world's largest aquarium by water volume, with an astonishing 12 million gallons across the venue. It's split into 10 different zones with 49 different habitats and features more than 100,000 animals from over 800 species. In the Underwater City exhibit, for example, guests can see 120 types of coral alongside the variety of reef fish, while the quirky adaptation section displays unusual marine animals like the blotch-eye soldierfish, the elephant fish, payara, and weedy sea dragons. In the shipwreck exhibit, there's a recreation of a sunken vessel with guitarfish, fantail rays, and bamboo sharks, and the Ocean Diversity attraction shows dolphins, huge octopuses, and a wide collection of jellyfish. It's the open ocean tank that's the most impressive though, as it's the largest at the aquarium and holds 4.8 million gallons. It's home to giant grouper, barracuda, manta rays, and plenty more, with the aquarium also having at least 5 different species of sharks as well. The viewing panel of the open ocean tank measures 118 feet wide and 27 feet tall, and it's been designed to give the impression that you've joined the animals on the ocean floor. Despite being impressive already, funding has now been secured for a major expansion to the aquarium that's due to open in 2024, and will potentially put it back on top as the world's largest. Number 1. Chimelong Ocean Kingdom, Hengqin, China. Chimelong Ocean Kingdom, which can be found in Hengqin, China, is an ocean-themed amusement park that opened in 2014. It's part of the Chimelong International Ocean Tourist Resort, which is trying to be the Orlando of China, and in 2018 was the 10th most visited theme park in the world. There are 3 roller coasters and 2 water rides, along with a number of other attractions too, but the real way that the park stands out above the rest is that it boasts the world's largest oceanarium. With a total of 12.88 million gallons of water across all the tanks, the park holds the record for the single biggest tank in the world. Found within the Ocean Beauty section, this is a whale shark exhibit tank and contains 6 million gallons of water, which is home to whale sharks, manta rays, and plenty more. As well as being the largest, the tank has the biggest acrylic window ever built, which measures 130 feet by 27 feet. If that doesn't bring you close enough to the animals inside, there's also the option of going on the Deep Sea Odyssey ride, which is a submarine that travels around the aquarium. The aim of becoming the biggest aquatic destination in the world has led Chimelong Ocean Kingdom to be involved in controversial decisions, such as building a killer whale breeding center and hosting dolphin shows, none of which have been rescued locally and have been instead purposefully caught elsewhere around the planet and flown to the venue. We'll see you next time.
Watch our binge-watching playlist if you'd like to watch all of our most popular top 15 videos. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and get ready to binge.